Hey, what's up guys, Arisu here. Today I bring you the make it click for the Legacy Ultimates, in this case for DSR, and I bring you the phase 1, the Vault Knights. I'm gonna be explaining the NAPF strats and using VODs from either, past VODs or the most recent VODs that I have. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, vámonos. Starting this phase, we're gonna do our whole opener on Adelphel. Meanwhile, the tanks are just gonna making sure that both Adelphel and Grino are in the middle of the arena. Also, you can pre-pull Rampart if you're tanking Grino because he's doing a lot of autos and you don't want to die to autos. So right here, I like standing here and just starting with a range attack so it naturally comes to me. And I just stand here, I make sure he's in the middle. I'm gonna move Adelphel a little bit north once his animation block is done. This is a raid wide, we just stand still. As you can see, the whole party, DPS and healers, are on the back side of Grino and Adelphel. So right here, moving a little bit north, so taking the tether is actually easier for the tank that has Grino, because they're gonna, if the tank is grabbing Grino, they're always grabbing this tether and always symboling right here. Meanwhile, the whole party right here, they just stand still. They are making sure you're not really inside Grino's hitbox, so you don't steal the tether and it's not impossible to take away for the tank. And you're also making sure that you're inside the chariot. Sorry, the dynamo. I got it backwards. So, right after that, we're gonna have the first small mech, which is pretty much, it's simplified by this reason. Right here, Adelphel gets untargetable, and we're gonna have a Hyperdimensional Slash. So right here, people are gonna have something above their head, 4 people. And this is why the 4 markers, we have them right here. So if I have nothing right now, as you can see, we have nothing right now. These people are gonna go towards the south side. Meanwhile, the people that have something above their head, this is a Protean, and they just go in the middle of the marker. These are already like pre-positioned markers, and they just go there and take your Protean. Everyone else just goes south and they stack. Because whoever doesn't have one, they're just gonna take a light party stack, which is a big cleave. And now, since we're already to the light party stack, we're now gonna have the Protean. And we're not gonna talk too much into deep like the Proteans on the portals on the outside, because pretty much these ones, you just want them to like not touch each other, because then you explode, you get a damage down, and you don't want to get close to them because you explode. So these ones are already like pre-position markers. Make sure you're max melee in the middle of the marker and they get positioned where they need to be. So then after we do this really fast mechanic, it's not that complicated. If you get a Protean, then you're gonna get the light party, but you stay on your side, you're on your half. If you were north, you stay north, you're never crossing, stay over there. So right here, Adelphel is gonna come back and he's gonna go to any of the cardinals. In this case, he went west. We're gonna go to the opposite side. We're gonna go east. Right here, you see Faith Unmoving. Get ready to pretty much knock back immune, so you can get some practice for Sanctity of the War, something in phase 2. So you just, knock him back immune. If you don't knock back immune, it's also fine, but you just gotta make sure you're near Grino and making sure that you don't get knocked back into the wrong area. Right here, this is just a Faith Unmoving is a knockback, and then Holiest of Holy is a right wide. After that is done, if you knock back immune or if you didn't, you're gonna be like closer towards that cardinal you're supposed to get knocked back to if you want to. So he's either gonna go left or right. Adelphel, right now, he's gonna go left. So if he goes left, you go left. If Adelphel goes right, looking at him of course, you go right. And that is as simple. And we're going to end up on an intercardinal. And this is something that you can notice on the floor. You're gonna see these triangles. They're always gonna be triangles on the floor. It's literally the same design right here. They're on the inner cardinals, and on the very tip of this triangle, you stand still. If you're the one with Grino, all the DPS, the healer, you stand right there. If you're the tank that has a Adelphel, you're gonna do the same movement that I'm about to do, but the party just goes there towards that inner cardinal, and they are dodging this AoEs, and they're making sure they're not touching the portals on the edge of the wall. Now for me, Adelphel, I just gotta keep running. If it was, left, I walk through here, making sure I get to the next cardinal, so I'm actually safe. And Emblem. And making sure I'm away from the party, because this is a tank buster that is also a knockback to whoever gets hit by it. I am the only one that got hit, so anyone around me, no one got hit, of course, so no one gets flown out, no one dies. And right here, this is the first responsibility for whoever has Adelphel. They have to interrupt Holiest of Hallowing. If you don't interrupt it, he heals the other person, the other knight, and it's pretty much, you know, it's an enrage, soft enrage. So just make sure you interrupt. Now, this is the big first mechanic. For PlayStation, we're gonna have people spread around Grano in Cardinals and inner Cardinals. And it's a pretty much really straightforward mechanic. So we're gonna have like this positioning. For now, let me explain real quick. Tanks are always gonna get X and square, and the tanks are always gonna go north or northeast. The other X is gonna be on the healer, always on the healer, and the other triangle is gonna be on, and the triangle is gonna be on the healer. They're gonna go south, southeast. Those are the supports already covered. The DPS will always get circle, and they're gonna go west, east, always of true north. And the DPS with the triangle is guaranteed northwest, and the DPS with the square is guaranteed southwest. And you're gonna position yourself around Grano. You're gonna have to like position right here and really close to each other around Grano, because you're gonna bait some chains, and the chains break faster the closer you are from each other before they actually lock in. So right here they lock in, and we're like we're really tied right here. We're gonna get knocked back from Grano. Sometimes Grano cannot be like perfectly centered, so just be careful of that. Target him and like see where you're gonna get knocked back to. But like if the tank manages to put him in the center really well, you know, you don't have to worry too much about that. But like be mindful that it can be not perfect every single time. Anyway, besides that point, where you're gonna get knocked back, and you want to make sure that you actually like stretch the tether and the chain actually breaks. Boom, chain breaks, and it is also spread. So make sure that you break the chain. You wait a little bit, and then gap close towards the boss. So right here, Holiest Halloween. This is a fist range interrupt now. The other tank is the backup in case the fist range dies or something happens. But it's the fist range responsibility to do this one. So right here, we're gonna have raid wide and empty or full dimension. If it's empty, be with Grano inside. If it's full dimension, do not be on top of Grano, you're gonna die. Max melee is fine. Or in that case, just disengage completely. It doesn't really matter because DPS check is now lower these days. So if they die by this point, which happened with this party, he's going to be casting Prize Blade Steel, which is the true enrage of like he becomes invulnerable, he does a lot of damage, you basically wiped. If they don't die right now, you're gonna have one more set of raid wide with it's gonna be an interrupt of the Holiest Hallowing, and another way of Holiest of Hallowing. And then you're pretty much have to kill them, because after a few autos, they're gonna cast Bright Blade Steel. If you manage to kill them, we're gonna have Pure of Heart. So Pure of Heart, if you learn it right here, right now, pretty much you're gonna be using it for intermission too. And the order is always the same: H, M, R, T. First are the healers are gonna bait, then are the melee, range, and tanks. Whatever the healers do, everyone's gonna do the same, except for one movement. But you're gonna see what I'm saying right now. So pretty much the healers have to bait in. This is baited by proximity from Sir Chariver's hitbox, the one that you can see right here. So everyone else can just stand on the warrior, which is pretty much, if you can be max melee, be max melee. It doesn't really matter. Just be outside the hitbox. So healer is gonna be inside the hitbox, and they're gonna bait a Protean away from the party. Once they bait the Protean, they're gonna go towards the Horseshift on side. That is the true east if you're looking at north. So they're gonna go over there, because once they get hit by the Protean, they get a debuff. They got a light debuff, meaning you cannot get another Protean. That's something. But this second one right here, that one leaves a puddle once the debuff comes down. So the melee are gonna go in next. They're gonna bait their Protean, but they cannot go where the healers went. So they're gonna go to the opposite side, true west. Or looking at the melee, they're gonna go to my right. They're gonna go there. They can max melee, it's fine. Range, go in. You can throw your 90-second mitts right here to get used to it, so it catches a ranged, the Pure of Heart, and if it was intermission, it would be catching Horshifon's AoEs. So right here, melee start dropping their puddles. You could see that the healer's puddles already exploded. You can see that the melees just exploded, so that's why the range don't go that side. Since it's melee tanks now, the other tank is doing a little bit of trolling because we already met the DPS check. So it doesn't matter. If you meet the DPS check, you can do a little bit of trolling, but try not to troll. Pure Heart goes off. Make sure it's mitigated. You have shields because, you know, you start getting used to intermission. But at the same time, as long as one person is alive, that's all that matters. Once that AoE goes off and you live, because if Pure Heart one-shots you, that means you didn't make the DPS check. So right here, Thornton's gonna appear and make sure you hit him. Doesn't matter with what. A range attack, you hit him with an auto attack, just make sure you hit him, do some damage, that it gets registered, so you don't get sent back to phase 1. It happened to me a few years back, and it could happen to you. And that's pretty much phase 1. And you're now ready for phase 2. This is the first and only checkpoint in this fight, so from here on out, you have to do it right every single time. And I hope it was useful, and I'll see you guys on the next one.